Hi, my name is Mei Duong, and I'm Director of Social Emotional Learning. I also have the pleasure of teaching self-science to our middle school students on a weekly basis. The overarching goal of self-science in the middle school is for our students to take ownership of this learning and to identify their passions so that they can create a context for acquiring these social emotional skills. These classes are called self-science because we want students to come as a scientist. Scientists are very good with non-judgmental observations. And so when something doesn't go as planned, either in ourselves or in other people, a scientist pauses, pays attention, and asks questions. And so the question is the most powerful tool that a scientist has. And this is the tool that we want students to have whenever they come to self-science classes. So Synapse uses an EQ model that has three components: know yourself, choose yourself, and give yourself. That's self-awareness, self-efficacy, and self-direction. There are, within three areas, are 8 competencies. Enhance emotional literacy, recognize patterns, apply consequential thinking, navigate emotions, engage intrinsic motivation, increase optimism, exercise empathy, and pursue noble goals. In grades 5 and 6, we ask students to develop these goals in themselves, but also to activate them in the real world. For instance, we asked them to consider what is the connection between expanding empathy in our small classroom environment and how does that change the global community. Through a group project, students start to understand what it means to expand the empathy circle beyond those they know and love. In grades 7 and 8, we ask students to pick an issue in the world that is near and dear to their heart, one that they get really excited about. Of the 17 global goals for sustainable development, they would pick one for an individual project. We know the middle school students are very excited to discuss these issues, and they have a lot to share about what's going on in the world. And through this individual project, students create a context for acquiring these skills, for learning about themselves, for learning about their classmates, for learning about the interdependency between themselves and their classmates, and what it means to engage in a goal and what it means to work toward that goal. We also know from the research that when students have a larger goal from which to activate their learning, they are better students, they have better relationship with their classmates, and they have a greater sense of personal achievement.